Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make 4-ingredient almond crackers. Now, if you've never had homemade crackers before, especially with almond flour, you're in for a nice treat. It's one of my go-tos, one of my favorites. Whenever I want like a cheese and cracker, and I do goat cheese, and I have this goat cheddar cheese. Oh my gosh, I got from Aldi, like $3.99 for a block. Oh my gosh, like that'll be for another one. That I like slicing it up. I like having a nice little treat with these crackers. I like it when I have a salad. And just by itself as a snack, it just feels like I'm eating a little healthier. Now, I know that there's a lot of fat in almonds. I don't care about that. So that's never been a concern when I'm doing this type of cooking. It's always, an alternative. Being gluten-free, does it taste good? Is it not filled with just a lot of crap? Because a lot of the crackers out there there's additives, extra things. This doesn't have it. So without further ado, let me show you what I have. Okay, so I'm sitting here cracking myself up over crackers. Anyway, look, this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need to get yourself some almond flour. If you don't have any, run out and get it. This is a new brand that I've tried, Nature's Eats. It's from Walmart, and I really like this. I usually would buy a smaller bag from Aldi, and that was like maybe $5 or something for 4 cups, so half of this. So price comparison, it's probably the same, but this brand tastes better. Just my opinion, okay? Now there's other brands, but that can get real pricey for like the small bag. So I highly recommend you checking this out, okay? So you need some almond flour. You're gonna need 1 cup packed cup, which I've already put in my bowl. You're also going to need to make which is like a flax egg, which I've already done here. You can see it's 2 tablespoons of flaxseed with 4 tablespoons of water. And you give that a good stir. You want it to be kind of like, little jelly-like. You're gonna sit for, they say about 10 minutes to get this going. So it's kind of like an egg, okay? Like a vegan egg. So I've already started that process. But that's what you're gonna do here. You're gonna mix it all together. You're gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. I had it while the oven was heating up. And then in with the almond flour, I'm gonna grab a fork here. In with the almond flour, I put some sea salt. I have a grinder, so I just put in what I eyeballed it. They say to put in a half a teaspoon of salt, and then whatever else you wanna add in. So I do a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, and a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'll tell you, I've strayed from this and got creative and added different herbs and different things. I keep coming back to this. This is like the best. It almost tastes like these crackers, like little pieces of garlic bread almost, but not. They're just delicious, okay? And they're filling, and I just am a fan. So I always give this a nice little stir with all of my, salt and the garlic and onion powder in it to get it ready to go. And so what you're gonna wanna do is, after you get that all together, you're gonna want to give this a good little stir, right? Waste nothing. We're gonna go ahead and pour that into, let me make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. You're gonna wanna pour that flax eggs in the almond flour. And you're gonna wanna give that a really good stir, and I'm going to show you what it should look like when we stir it up. So you can see, it seems really dry, but I'm telling you, it's awesome, okay? So you're gonna wanna give this a really good stir. I think I just inhaled some. We're gonna give this a really good stir, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like so you're not sitting here watching me just stir this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get like a dough, and it's gonna be a little crumbly, but you're gonna wanna go in with your hands and mush it all together, and you're gonna form like a little ball of dough. And now the fun part about this, and I'm just gonna show you through the video, I won't be talking. Once you get your dough, you're gonna put it here between 2 pieces of parchment paper, and you're gonna roll it out, okay? And that's a process, and then you're gonna cut them out into little squares. And yeah, so come along as I do this, and let's have a little bit of fun. Let's make some crackers. Okay, so here is what mine looks like. Now, you saw that I was folding, and flattening out because I wanted to keep it in a certain shape, but it doesn't always work out that way. What I'm looking for now is just the thickness. And this feels about right. I'm gonna give you a little bit closer look so you can get an idea of the thickness of it. Because if they're too thick, look, I've made them where they are a little thicker and some are thin, just because how it turned out. And it's not bad. It's just, they're gonna be a little chewier than crunchy. So the thinner that they are, the smaller that they are, the crunchier they're gonna be. And again, you'll have to make sure that you don't, burn them in the oven the thinner that they are, because that does happen sometimes. So right now, what I'm going to do is I make slices. I have a pizza cutter, I highly recommend. And I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna make some slices. It's not perfect, it's not supposed to be. It's a cracker, okay? So I'm just going in here, and some of the ones like on the outside, I'll take over here and I will put them together and I'll kind of fold and flatten them and just make like a little wonky cracker, but it works. So you're gonna wanna come through and you're gonna cut them, okay? So right here, I'll come through with that. I use my pizza slicer, I bring it over here. So the ones that are like really small like that, I'll just put them over here, reserve them. So I just go through now and I'm just going to make squares. Some, like I said, it's not perfect. They're never perfect, but they're gonna taste phenomenal, I promise you. Okay, so yeah, again, I'm gonna come through here. I'm gonna pick any of the really smaller ones because these guys, the little ones like that, they'll crisp up really fast, and I don't want them to burn. So I might even go ahead and take this one off the edge here. I'll go ahead and trim those down a little bit. And yeah, so this will not go to waste. I'm going to go ahead and mash them up, do the whole process again, make a few more crackers out of this, but I wanted you to see what, like that one's a little too small, and that guy, okay. To see what it looks like, okay. You can see what one of the crackers will look like. So what you have to do with these, I have a chopstick. Okay, you can use anything that has this. You need to put a little hole at the top. So like that's really small. I usually do like an indentation that's big, so somewhere in between. But you just need to do it so it gives it, it doesn't poof up when you're cooking it, okay? And it almost looks like, the whole like on a Cheez-It, like that's what it looks like. So you're just gonna wanna go through and you're gonna wanna do that for all of them. You can put a couple, especially with the big ones if you want to. Again, there's no wrong or right when it comes to these crackers. And you saw, it really didn't take long. It can take me longer if I am like in that zone where I just want to get that just right. Then I'll take longer, but otherwise it really doesn't have to have that much, effort into this. Again, it's a cracker. So we're not saving lives here with this, you know what I mean? So you're gonna wanna go ahead and do that. And then you're going to want to transfer these to a cookie sheet or baking sheet. You use already one of the pieces of parchment paper that you've been rolling it out on because you don't need to waste that. Bake them for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out. All right, so yay, let's have some crackers. So here's what they look like before I put them in the oven, right? Look at all those crackers you get. Whoa, don't want to lose them. So I'm gonna go and put them in, again, 350 for about 10 minutes, and I'll show you what they look like. The crackers are done. This is the color that I like them to be. This is a little bigger, but you can see the bottoms, and they're gonna kind of continue cooking just a little bit as they cool off. Here's the one that I made a round one. Again, I don't waste anything. So this is the color that I like them to be, a nice little golden brown. So for me, and for this batch, I had to do an extra 3 minutes. So it was 13 minutes in the oven. However, a few minutes before that, probably like at 8 minutes, 9 minutes, like when I was getting close, I checked to see if any of the other ones that were a little thinner were browning, a little darker, and I took them out. So I didn't let them stay because they would have burnt. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And how about we do a taste test? Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. It was so good. And I feel like they're almonds. Like, it's just such a healthier alternative, at least for me. That's my belief. But they're really, really good. Again, I love them. You saw how easy the process was. I would love to know if you actually decide to make these, or if you've made them before. I have passed this recipe on to a few people, but it is one of my go-tos, and I absolutely love it. And I feel like I have some on my teeth. But yeah, there you go, everybody. That's my, I want to claim this as my own, saying my 4 ingredient. It's not my recipe, but boy, am I taking ownership for it. I think I've made it so many times that it feels like it's my own because I've added a little of this, I've added a little of that, but I cannot take credit for this. I've found this recipe, and in the comments, you'll see in the description, I will give the person who created this, who put this recipe together, a shout out for sure. And I thank them because who knew? 4 ingredients and you get such a tasty, amazing, lovely cracker. There you go. Here's to cooking good looking.